episode of Unfiltered Romance Nights. We are your hosts, Colleen.
And I'm Marjorie. Tonight we will be chatting about book one of Monica Murphy's The Callahan series, Close to Me. This is an enemies to lovers high school romance. It is Autumn and Usher's love story from ninth grade through their senior year. We're also probably going to have like a little bit of off topic because this is going to be a short episode if we don't talk about anything else.
Okay. Oh, okay. I finished the book.
Wait, before you say that, did you do ebook, audiobook, or paperback?
You know what's funny is she has a really nice illustrated cover that I almost bought, but I did not. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ebook. So that's what I did.
Did ebook too. And okay, so the paperback, which was a illustrated cover, was on my wish list. I did remove it because I almost bought it when I first saw it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait because I have a bunch of the author's books and I haven't read them because I was like, some of them kind of interconnected, so
yeah.
I wanted to. And and this book is the very beginning of the series, and then there's second gen and all that stuff, and I'm just like, before we do this,
right, test the waters first. Okay. Well,
what did you
book
rate
rating? So it did keep my interest, but it had a lot of issues for me, so I gave it a 3.
I
And
DNF'd
Spice, yeah.
I
know you did.
DNF'd it at 22%. Oh.
So you can't really speak on the Spice, not that there really was very much of any. For me, I would say 1.5. Well, because they actually do end up having sex, we'll give it 2.
Considering it's a high school, like, I mean, we've read high school romances, but majority of the high school romances that we've read, they're all 18 years old anyway, majority of them, and they don't act like 18-year-olds.
Right.
Because it's darker. I mean, I'm just gonna say, it's like I should quit trying contemporary romance if I've never read the author. If I've read the author, like Anna Huang or Catherine Cowles, I will read them because I know how they write, and I kind of like. I do enjoy reading their stuff. It will take me a little bit to get there, but I do enjoy their books.
Yeah.
I should quit trying.
Well,
this is
you win some, you lose some.
I know, but I think too, it's a good thing to, like, when we buddy read, there should be able to, we're not always like, it's gonna be a 4-5 star for us, because then
right,
it's inauthentic. While
Yeah,
we don't review them, like literally review them on, like, TikTok, social media, or whatever, at least on the podcast we can talk about them.
Right.
No, we don't tag the authors and all that stuff. We can talk about them. Okay, thoughts on Asher?
Well, on what you've read.
Okay, so on what I've read, I feel like, well, I mean, I've only seen him.
What grade did you get to?
Up to, I stopped at the beginning of junior year.
Oh, okay, so
yeah,
okay.
From what I read from Autumn's point of view, I feel like I would have liked him. Like, he's that typical bad boy. I have issues, brooding, know. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, he's a football player. Actually, when I first read the first chapter, I thought it was gonna be JT that was gonna be.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, ugh, blonde guy. Like, no.
I know.
Like, the only saving grace was the blue eyes from that guy. But then, as she go along, and then it was like, they have this connection, I guess. Her and Asher.
Homecoming. What was that? 10th grade?
Okay, yeah. Asher. I feel like there's more to him.
Well, there is.
It's just more of that when you see him from Autumn's point of view. I mean, all you can hear is like Autumn's, I don't know, pettiness
Well,
and immaturity kind of thing.
you do get other point of views in this. I took notes because I have a shit memory. I'm
Mm.
convinced I have early onset Alzheimer's,
Shh.
but that's for another
Look here,
episode. Uh,
Look here,
s-
Wikipedia.
I know. Anywho, so Asher Davis, his dad died when he was younger,
Yeah.
so he lives with the mom and this boyfriend, the mom's boyfriend.
Mm.
It's an abusive situation.
Okay.
This senior year, the stepdad ends up beating the shit out of him. He misses football practice, so Autumn's dad goes to look for him because it's not like him to miss practice and finds him like terrible.
Right.
So, long story short, he ends up living with
Mm,
Autumn's family.
okay.
They enter into a relationship. It's a little toxic.
I
It's a
had
little
a
toxic.
feeling. I had a feeling that eventually he was gonna live with them or something like that because, like, when Autumn would talk to the mom, she would like say, "It's like, oh, just give him the benefit of the doubt or whatever, like be nice to him, kind of thing like that." And Autumn's like, snotty little
Yeah.
cheerleader, like.
He struggles with insecurities with the fact that she's rich, he's poor.
And
So
you can tell too, like when they were talking, like, oh, she's not gonna like me, like whoever, like the girl that
I'm
I,
not good enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I could tell, like, and the fact that, like, I don't know, I think it's because she seems snotty, and like you can tell that, like, she grew up privileged and all that stuff, like she can't understand him or whatever, um just based on those like small interaction, like, I mean, I get it. They were sophomore year, so they're like children, pretty much. And
This all happened senior year. Like
mhm.
that was just like a stepping stone. So you see how there was a connection, but they would stay apart from each other for whatever reason. She had
Yeah.
a boyfriend for a while. Then
What
senior
is it?
year, he
Okay,
has a girlfriend.
Ben seems douchey anyway. Like, save me the dance. Like, you couldn't pick her up. Like,
Oh, I don't
you kind
know.
of like her, you couldn't pick her up. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm old school or whatever, but like, if you like a girl, I mean, he did give her flowers at the end of homecoming during the coronation night.
Well, they broke up.
No, like during the homecoming where like he gave her Ben gave her, like,
Yeah.
during coronation night, and then it's like, oh, are you coming to the dance? And and you can tell kind of like Autumn wanted to be invited, like ask me out kind of thing, and he was just like, save me dance, and then like,
Well, he didn't drive.
well, I mean, I know they couldn't drive, but you can still get your parents to, I
Oh.
don't know.
Well,
I don't know
I
how.
got the vibe from him, and only because I read it all the way through that there
Mm,
was more to him. I don't know if he gets a book. I don't know what his deal is, but I had a feeling like I had this. They never slept together. Like you're together right before starting senior year, and the most you've done is like make out.
yeah, I know.
I'm starting to think either one, you don't like her, or two, you don't like girls.
Yeah, like, I think I got that part. I think I at least read one chapter of junior year where she was like saying like, oh yeah, we're together, we've never said I love yous or whatever. We've make out a lot and touching and stuff, but that's it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, weird.
Like
I
I
mean,
feel like
granted,
she was his beard.
but I mean, granted, they're in sophomore year, I guess, or whatever. Like, but she knows that like her friends that are have in a relationship kind of like done other things and stuff,
Yeah.
and the fact that she gets jealous when that Asher is making out with a girl or whatever. It's like,
Well, senior year, he ends up getting a girlfriend who's
mhm.
psychotic. Like she's a volleyball player, but like she's been obsessed with him. So that's a whole nother story. But all in all, I liked him as much as I could for a high school kid.
Hmm.
He was fine. Not my favorite, but he was fine. Where you and I are used to reading like Rena Kent, where they're not immature. So I think
Okay,
I need to just remember that these
right.
are supposed to be high school kids.
I think what why it didn't keep my attention was I wish we started with like angsty right away. Like the toxicity of it, like you said, it's a little bit toxic, but like the toxicity of the relationship, and then we get flashbacks of like, oh, they were kind of cute and sweet. Like that's why they were, like I don't know, like maybe instead of like starting it at, was it sophomore or freshman year, right?
Freshman year.
Yeah,
Hmm.
freshman year, where they had that one interaction, and then sophomore year they became lab partners, um and all that stuff, and it's kind of like it was so boring. Like this seemed filler stuff. Like, yes, I get it, like you're showing us that they have a connection and all that stuff, but I would have rather like we started in senior year and then we get flashbacks.
Okay.
Because then it would
Yeah.
have kept my attention. Because I'd be like, why am I reading about children? I mean, they're not children, but like they're younger teenagers. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
I want, because I mean, I've seen, okay, perfect example, Rena Kent, Royal Elite series. We started, so we saw them as seniors, right? They were
Hmm.
seniors, but there was flashbacks for like when they were kids and all that stuff. There was a bunch of flashbacks, which is, it explained why they were like enemies
Yeah.
or whatever, like how it happened and all that stuff. And I like
Well,
it that
is
way.
this her first book? Is this
I
her
don't know.
first try at, I wonder, because you know how sometimes authors, when they either are brand new or new to a particular subgenre, like maybe it gets better.
Yeah. I,
I don't
I
know.
mean, okay, so I was told by somebody, one who shall not be named, the best writer ever, like one of that person's favorite author, and I was like, okay.
If it's who I'm thinking you're talking about, she's got taste up her ass, and
I
we've
was trying to
known.
be nice and like
No, no,
be
I'll just,
vague.
and she likes other books that you and I were like, yeah,
But also he read the popular books that
well,
you know,
yeah,
yeah, like the ones that are hyped on way back when, like a couple years ago,
yeah,
when we were still talking, that they were hyped on TikTok and all that stuff. And I was just like, hey, so I would just say I probably would like not read this author ever again.
really, okay,
I can't, like, I mean, I get it. Like if as they write, they get better. But for me, I would, if I start with the second generation, I want to be able to like read the parents. And if these are the parents, I just I'm out.
well, I don't know. We'll get to that because
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume, but the ending pissed me off. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
So you told us a little bit of perspective. You gave us a little perspective on Autumn. So what are
Mhm.
your thoughts on her? I know you don't like her.
From what I've read, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. She's too judgy. McJudgester
Really? Okay.
ish. Something, I think, in terms of Asher. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
I get
Oh,
it.
okay.
Like, I think it stems from like she doesn't know how to feel about him,
Mm-hmm.
because she kept saying it's like, oh, I need to go. Like Ben is who it is because he's safe, and and but she doesn't. The fact that she doesn't feel that spark with Ben, but then will feel that spark with Asher, even when they were just talking or whatever, and she doesn't know how to react to it or how to act. But the thing is like her mom gives her good advice,
Yeah.
and then she goes the opposite way of that advice. And it was like, why did you ask for an advice? Like she'll
Yeah.
start being nice, and then Asher will say something and then he's like, "Nee." Like it's and I get it, I guess, like with her age. I guess I shouldn't be judging her too much, but then again, I was like, I was that age. I wasn't like that way. But
So you take her, who's always done everything she's supposed to do, and she gets good grades, and she's
mhm,
just so the good girl. Then
mhm,
you have Asher, who pushes her buttons because he feels inadequate. So he'll say something like sexual to her just to like just to push her buttons, and then so she reacts and she's like, "Oh my god, that's so vile," because she's not
mhm,
used to it. As you go on with her, you start to see she is a very caring person.
mhm.
But let's chalk it up to immaturity. Again,
Yeah, I
they're high
think
school
it
kids
was
being
that.
written as high school. Yeah.
But I think it also goes back to like when I do read high school romance. They're dark, so
Mhm.
their reactions are like, okay, well, I
Mhm.
get it why she was like that because that
Right.
tension, that like fight, that like the douchey MMC that's like really mean. When they're really mean, they're really mean, and the reaction is like, okay, I can understand that reaction.
Mhm.
Like that girl's just trying to survive or just stuff. But like with, like because Asher has like a foul mouth. I mean, let's like he had a foul mouth even like
Yeah.
in sophomore year and whatever. He had a foul mouth, and Char's like, ugh. Like
Right.
I'm like, okay, where did you go to school before that you've never heard somebody, high schoolers, talk that way? Like, I mean, I could understand if you've like been homeschooled, you would not hear the way people talk that way. But like her reaction is just like, yeah, like it's disgusting. Like, what? Okay, it's almost to an extreme. Like this is her first time out in the world. Like did she
Right.
that she heard this word? It's like, okay, that's a little bit much, but I was like, I'm just gonna chalk it up that she's fucking sophomore year. But I'm just like, okay. I mean, I do like that, she loves her family.
Yeah.
Like like she never had any issues or anything like that. But yeah, that
Okay.
I mean, I can't really judge her too much. But from what I saw, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna chalk it up to like you're young. But
And
I
also to the fact that this isn't your normal read. Like it's
You're
just
right.
maybe just not for you.
Okay, like, and in my defense too, I don't like a lot of FMC
I
half the
know.
time. So
You don't.
so I mean I know like I probably would get a lot of flack on that one where like I'm way too judgmental on FMCs, and I'm just like, well, I've read books where the FMC was the star and I love the FMC. So it's not like it can't be written well. Where
Yeah.
one of my favorite FMC was Mindfuck series. And
Mm.
she went through a lot and came back like swinging like, let's do this, you
Yeah.
know. So it's not when people like I've seen it where like, oh, we're so hard on FMCs, especially if they um like had this past, like tragic past. I was like, have you read the Mindfuck series? Because that's super tragic past. Like,
Yeah.
and she came out on top like 10
Yeah.
years later, and she was just like, I mean, I know like you didn't like the MMC on that one, but that's okay. Like, but the FMC's like, that's like beautifully written series. So it's not like I don't, it's just how there are sometimes.
You just
So
like what you like. And reading is subjective. And I could love autumn, which I don't. I'm not saying that. But I didn't mind her. I just had to, after just reading Selena's uh,
right.
Exile, Willow Heights Prep, and reading Harper, I had to shut that freak off because I had to be like, all right, we're not dealing with Harper anymore. We're dealing with
Well, and
on it.
Harper's was like a junior too. Well, technically, she was held back.
Yes.
She was held back because she skipped one. She didn't. She stopped going to school 1 year,
Oh,
and then when
right.
she had to come
Ninth
back, she
grade.
had to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, I had to
Yeah.
like get my shit together."
Yeah.
Um,
I just had to turn the dark side
mhm.
off and
Yeah.
go into
Oh, yeah, and
Pleasantville.
perfect thing too. It was like Harper's past is tragic, but she was written really well as
Yeah.
well. Like I wasn't. Dixie was the one that we didn't like. She must
Oh, don't get me
go. Like
started.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's. I think it's like it's just how they're written.
Yeah.
And I'm like not like, shitting on other authors. It's just like there are things like, you know,
Well,
there's
yeah.
few and far in
Speaking,
between that I like an FMC. Sorry.
yeah. Now, speaking on how it's written, I know that you talked about a little bit, but the how it was broken up.
Hmm.
Um, for me, I didn't mind that it was broken up by grades, but I
Hmm.
also felt like either give me none or give me more because the amount that you like you said, it was like very filler. Like, no, show me some angst, show me something a little bit more than
Yeah,
what you're
like
giving
so
me.
the freshman one was like one chapter, one or two chapters, and it's all like, I'm the new girl.
Right.
What? Okay. And then all of a sudden we're now in sophomore year. Like we didn't get anything besides the fact that she was a new girl. She met JT and Asher. And that's it. And then all of a sudden we're like sophomore year. I'm like, okay. Was
Yeah.
It's like, was there a point to like me telling you that she's a new girl? Because like we could have probably started sophomore year because there was a little bit more chapters in there, and it spanned a couple months. And I was like, she could have just said like, oh, I was the new girl last year. It
Yeah.
could have been that, but no, we
Yeah.
have to have
I
like
agree.
1, 2 chapters of her bedroom. Hers, and I was like, I don't. We could have talked about the bedroom later or whatever. Like I don't know. Like it was just okay, and then
Unnecessary.
right, or like at least showed that how she met her friends, because she met her friends and then she joined cheerleading. That's why in
Right.
sophomore year she's a cheerleader. It's like surprise,
Oh,
I'm a
I have
cheerleader. I'm
friends.
like, what? And I
Right,
have
right.
friends, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, because in the prologue and then the chapter one, which was still freshman, it was like she was whining about like she doesn't know anybody. Okay, well, you could have shown me how she went to friends instead of like I
I
don't
agree on
know,
that.
weird,
Yeah.
weird. I'm a new girl.
Yeah,
And
I
like,
know.
and JT was like, oh, just let me know when you have Snapchat, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Not necessary, yeah.
not, not even. It's like that's not even necessary introducing JD because it's not even the actual MMC. Like, at first I thought it was MMC. I was like, okay, JD,
And we
whatever.
don't see him again. That's
Yeah,
it.
and then
Thanks for
that's
stopping
it.
by.
Right. And I'm like, but it's her focal point of like how she got annoyed with Asher, why she
Right.
avoided Asher after that.
Right.
She made it as a focal point of like, oh, Asher is just being a dick or whatever. But at least showed like what you know.
Like what she could have done is, oh, I was sitting there waiting for my mom to pick me up. And this boy on the bench turned around and said, "You new here?" And then, like, we could have cut Asher JT all the way out,
Right, because
whatever
he
the fuck
wasn't
his
even
name is.
important, but she made
No,
for in when you're reading Autumn's point of view, it's like almost like a focal moment of why she got pissed at Asher because Asher had to ruin it, like because this guy is like hitting on me, and he's like older and all that stuff, and I was like, oh God, Jesus Christ.
yeah, I
Oh,
don't
and oh, he
know.
knows my name, like thinking that's the MMC, and then like surprise, surprise, it's fucking Asher, and I'm like, I'm a cheerleader. I was like, okay. Like we skipped a total whole year and a summer. And all of a
Yeah, how about
sudden
some summer action, right?
and then all of a sudden I have friends. Like I'm part of the popular group. What? I thought she had issues having friends. We didn't even get that part.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, no, I'd rather would have rather started in senior year, like where she's established and stuff, and then kind of like talk about like, oh, you know, this is how I had friends or whatever, or when I like a flashback of how she met Asher and all that stuff
Mhm.
kind of thing. But it would have kept my interest. I'm like, I'm always a toss up of, do we start like right, there, or do we need a backstory? But it also depends on how the author writes the backstory. I'm okay with like backstories half the time, because then, at least it makes sense.
Right.
Um, but this, yeah, I don't know. Freshman could have been cut
Okay.
off. Freshman could have been cut off. Maybe we should have
Agreed.
just started sophomore year, and then I would be like, I would be at least kept my interest a little bit. Although I don't know if I still would have kept my interest. I probably would have wanted, let's start s- senior year where we see Asher has a girlfriend and all that stuff, and that's that. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can't speak on the next talking point really because you don't know. I think her name was Riley, right? Ryle, whatever the fuck her name was. So there was other girl drama. That um could have used a little bit more, if I'm being honest. He had a
Mm,
girlfriend. He had now had a chance with Autumn. He dumps her, like, because they're about to do something, and she's like, "No, no, I'm not going to do that unless you're single." Dumps her. He's like, "She wasn't even really my girlfriend. It was just like a hookup because that was his thing. I never had girlfriends."
mhm.
I feel like there could have been a little bit more
This,
with regard to her and Autumn and their
mhm,
confrontation.
right.
But then we get the pretend pregnancy scare with the ex girlfriend, which never happened. She
But
lights the house on fire.
but this would have been the perfect setting for like a petty ass other girl drama, is at high school, because it makes sense to have
Yeah. It missed the mark.
like petty issues. Like sometimes we'll read a book when they're adults and then there's other girl drama, but they're like so petty. It's like, okay, this is not fucking high school. You guys are adults. Let's, like, I don't mind other woman drama, but it also depends on how they're written. If
It
they're
needed more or
right.
take it out altogether. It just
Mhm.
wasn't executed to my liking. Maybe other people loved it, but you and I are used to reading like these vicious bitches who
Oh yeah.
will claw your eyes out
Right. Like
and
they're actually petty. Oh,
right.
perfect example was Edgewood Academy Elite, Sam.
Oh,
Like she was the most hated fucking girl. And I mean, and it
yeah.
was appropriate response because that girl was petty. Like, but they're also in high school. Like there's high schoolers, like
Yeah.
rich kids, high schoolers, petty, kind of like Gossip Girl. Like how they're petty over in that TV show. Like, so I mean, I guess it was
But
supposed
maybe this is our problem. I need to shut my brain off and stop trying to make everything into a dark romance. But my
to.
thing is, if you're contemporary and you're going to write other girl drama, I'm saying girl because she was a girl. She
Yeah,
wasn't a woman yet.
yeah, yeah,
Um, if you're going to put it in, then you got to own that shit, or
yeah.
else it's going to fall flat. And it did a little bit.
Yeah. Make it worthwhile of having even that character in there,
Yeah.
because other, like you said, otherwise it's just like, it doesn't even make sense to have that character.
Hmm.
Again, it's almost like, it sounds like it's just like a filler, like, oh, let's just put some drama in between the two characters.
Yeah.
Kind of like third act breakups. Like sometimes the third act breakup is like, okay, if you're gonna put a third act breakup, make it make sense and make it worthwhile, and it not just like, okay, let's kiss and make up, all done. Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite scene?
Um, I struggled with this one, but I just had to pick one out of my ass, and it was the hot tub scene where
Hmm.
they almost. Uh, I think it's the first time she touches a penis.
Well, I mean, she's very
She's a
naive, I
kid.
think.
Yeah.
Right.
But otherwise, it wasn't really a favorite scene for
I
me.
like where he holds her pinky at it's like the sweet innocent gesture at the homecoming car. I mean, I
Yes.
know it's like it's cheesy and stuff, but it's like he doesn't know how to act and show how he feels, so it's kind of like, well, I have to just touch her kind of thing. And then and she's just like, oh, like, oh, I like that. Like she didn't like snatch her hand, but it's kind of like it's cute, like
Yeah.
sweet, and you know they were still sophomores, so it's kind of like sweet. It's just it's nice, like or when they So
Yeah.
that one I like that one.
I forgot about that. You know me, I go right to the raunch. Show me what you got.
We can't do raunchy, super raunchy on this.
Well, I'm always looking for it.
Well, I mean, considering some of the high school romances that we
I
read, it's
know.
like they get fucking raunchy. It's like, um, I'm pretty sure you're not a high schooler because, like, there's no way you have that much game and swagger
I
to
know.
pull that shit off. Like, sure, like, we watch movies where they're like, I'm the hot guy. Like, I get all the girls, but, like, come on.
Yeah.
You're like the way you do it to where like the fact that readers are like, oh, this is fucking hot. Like there's no way a high schooler gets that good unless they started like super
Yeah.
young, which is like, yes, you have
I
time.
know. Well, everyone knows how to eat out a girl
Right,
in high
exactly. Like,
school. Where
no.
were you?
Right. Well, actually, I did not do anything in high school. I was lame.
Oh, did I give myself away?
But also, in my defense, I was in a Catholic private school, so we would have like
So was
God.
I.
God will smite you. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a co-ed school, but like holding hands was like not allowed. We can't even have like um shiny lip balm or lip gloss.
No, mine wasn't
That
that bad.
yeah. Our uniform was like needs to be 4 inches down below the knees. And I'm like, literally, my skirt, like you can see this much because that. I mean, my socks are like short, like they're ankle socks, and this is as much skin you can see of my legs in
Oh.
between the skirt and the socks. That's it.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah. So no, I was lame. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. Like I don't know. I would have gotten expelled.
That's funny.
We would have been gotten expelled.
I'm wondering if you had a chance to have a favorite quote.
No, because all
I
of the
did.
because all of our things are just like
No. I know you read this part where he her parents weren't home and he went over there like trying to talk to her and she was dating Ben. Okay. So she's pushing him away or whatever and did you read the part where he said I don't have a heart?
I did read that. Like
Okay.
that was in sophomore year.
So then when he ends up going to her house when her parents are away, he's like, "No, I'm just going to bear it all for her. I'm going to try and get
Oh.
her." So he's like she says to him, "You don't have a heart, remember?" And he says, "Yeah, because you stole it."
Aw. I think
That's
I
my
remember him
favorite.
saying like I don't have any feelings or whatever.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And this was the and then I was like, "Oh my god." And
It's
then he
so
became very vocal on his feelings. Like he was
yeah, because
very outgoing with that.
yeah, like in sophomore year he didn't know how to express himself. That's why he said I don't have any feelings or whatever.
Oh, well,
But
he
you can
went all
tell
out.
but you can tell because he was like when he was telling her it's like, oh no, I do like this girl, but I know she doesn't like me or I'm not her type or whatever. And then but in her head it's like, oh, it's me that he's talking about. I mean when and you can tell it's her, but she was just like, but Ben. And I'm like, dude, just
Ugh, fucking
get
Ben.
the fuck over Ben, okay? Ben is not even making that many moves.
No, Ben doesn't like girls.
We're gonna assume Ben doesn't like girls.
I mean, that's come on. Um,
Anyway. But yeah.
So we touched on the likes and dislikes, but there were a couple things that I wrote down. You didn't get to see it, but
Mm-hmm.
when they were actually in a relationship, he had these mood swings. Like it was almost like, yeah, I know you were beat up and your mom didn't love you and all that shit, but he would like lash out at her, and I'm like, whoa, are we gonna have a DV book here? But no,
Yeah.
I didn't like his crazy mood swings. Another thing I didn't like was it needed an epilogue for
Oh.
sure. I didn't like how it ended. Um,
Wait, how
and
did
then
it
we cut.
end? How did it end?
Um, all right. Well, I'll just get to that. I'll scratch the last question out. So he ends up getting into college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe it was a scholarship. She's going to the college she's going to. They're not going to school together.
I bet
And
you it's the
I'm
second
so proud of
series.
you. See you later.
But they're together? Hold on. I'm pretty
It doesn't really say.
hold on. I'm pretty sure there's this thing called
They
the
say
college.
they're going to make it work, but oh,
No,
there
there is
is?
this thing called the college years. And I bet you it's that one.
Better fucking be, because the way that ended was bullshit.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at
That
this.
was bullshit. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm looking, and they're like, oh, here's a sneak peek of Jake's book. I didn't finish with these two. Not ready for Jake. It better be.
Well, it says there's this thing called college year series, but I don't know if it is
I'm
because
looking
it
to see
says
what I have.
the freshman, but it hold on. I
Like they're 5 hours away, and she goes, "We'll see each other." Yeah, honey, you're not gonna see each other.
like, did you guys make it? Here, let's go to Monica Murphy. So is it a happy ending?
He's happy he got into college because he never thought he was gonna go. She's happy for him, and
Oh
that's
God.
it. The ending pissed me off.
Okay, hold on. The freshman year.
Oh, but we're 5 hours away. Yeah. Do you know what that really? You know what 5 hours away feels like. You just did it.
I mean, I do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I ain't doing it for no boy.
Oh, they don't say who it is. Like the reviews are like, oh, okay. Okay, so this one is continuation from the Callahan series.
Okay.
So maybe you'll see them. I'm gonna go to
Um.
Monica's um what's it called? Because it's on her thing when she was releasing. Well, her release dates are weird anyway. Okay, so like the Lancaster prep series. Oh, maybe that's I don't know. She said that they interconnected or whatever, like the Callahan and the Lancaster kind of like their children married to, like to each other or whatever.
Oh well. Well, we'll see. I'm still.
It's yeah. I mean, are you gonna
All
continue the series?
right.
I'm just curious.
I think I will.
No.
Only
Okay.
because I have a bunch of her books on my shelf. Um, I'm hoping this was just a one-off, and I'll like the content of the other stories.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
And based how the story was written, one of the questions I'm asking is, do I feel the relationship has longevity? Um, hmm,
Not the way it
not the way you were.
ended.
Right, right, right. That's
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, not the way it ended.
Because let's think it this way, okay? If I think back and I went away to college, I don't want to feel like I can't do what I want to do.
Right.
Like maybe I have a connection with somebody and now I got to worry about, hey,
Right.
listen, Asher, It's been fun.
but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I
that's
can't find her.
all right. Well,
She put it before, like, damn it. Sorry, she put it.
it's
She,
fine. I'll look it up
she
later.
was,
It's not that big a deal. So
yeah,
that
like
was that book.
she was like saying like, oh, if you want to catch up before you read them, like these two people, like the two care FMCs, these are their parents, and it shows, you know, one of them is from the Lancaster series, and then the other is from the
Okay.
Callahan series. Oh, here it is.
Yes.
Um, yeah, whatever. I don't know how they got interconnected, but I'm pretty sure that's what she put there, was like they're connected somehow.
Yeah, I'll keep it moving. I mean, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I won't have to, like, you know.
I'll
It's
let
just
you know if anything gets good.
that yeah. It just,
I'll let you know.
I wish it was, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I had higher hopes, but
Same.
it's
Because I was
fine.
like, I was so excited. I wanted to like read them and all this, and then blah.
Yeah, after I read that, I needed like a reset, and
You wanted to go to angst.
so no, oh yeah, well no. I in between picking up LJ Shen, I did pick up a quick novella,
Oh
and
God.
I can't believe Amanda recommended this book.
Wait, which one is it?
Squeak.
Oh, okay. Thank God it's not Unhinged, because we're talking about that next week.
No, I knew better. That's why I didn't read it. But I read Squeak, and what the fuck was that?
I don't know. You should talk to her about that. Like,
I'm gonna
Amanda,
talk to her about that, but
Amanda,
that's that.
come back to our
Yeah, Amanda, we're gonna have to have a. We should include you in on some of these insanities. It was funny, but okay. So that's it for the book.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm like, I'm sorry, like I'm lame in this episode because I just could not. Like, I am now at the point where, like, if I cannot get into it, I'm just
And
not.
that's okay. We can't listen. We can't force ourselves to read things that don't bring us joy.
Mhm.
And I was entertained. I was okay with it. It was middle of the road for me, but it
Mhm.
definitely had some issues that could have made it better. But I'm not an author. I am
We're just the readers.
just readers. Could I have done it better? Probably not. But these are just my opinions.
Everybody's entitled, and we're not shitting on it.
Yeah. And we both, before we end the episode, we would like to just gripe on one thing. This is, do we want to bring it up to just a quick little 5 minute?
We should, because it's
Okay. So,
horrible. Like, okay, like we read dark stuff. We, you know, so in the books there are characters that are sexually abused, sexually harassed. There's non-con, dub-con, you know, all that shit.
right.
But there's a line that we just don't
Right.
fucking cross.
There was a book that was recommended on a site, and I'm not going to do names and we're not going to name authors. I feel like it's just, I'm giving my opinion because my opinions don't have to be right. They're right for me.
Right.
And there is a book out there that is so dark, and it's I should have went to Goodreads first, but I went to Goodreads after I already purchased this book, and in my opinion, it is never okay to sexualize a 2-month-old baby.
Yeah.
In no
Jail.
place is that
Jail.
okay, and then you stick dark romance on it.
It's not. There's nothing.
There, no, no,
It should not be part of any dark romance. I don't care if it's like for a backstory, whatever you want to fucking call it, or I don't know. Yeah, no. Um, yeah, I just can't like.
On top of the fact that FMC is 12 when this all starts out.
Yeah,
This is not the infant. This is the infant ends up being killed. It's from what I
yeah. It's from other reviews that
gathered,
I've seen. What
right?
it was, yeah,
That is that's awful. Now, if that's your thing, I love that for you. That's great. It's not for me,
yeah,
and you didn't have the right to throw dark romance on it. Call it, what do we say, splatterpunk? Call it horror.
yeah.
But and then when you're doing triggers, you just said all of them. Well, that's a pretty broad spectrum. If you're not
Mhm.
going to put anything in specific, please just put this one. For the
Right,
sake of all of our mental health, please
right.
just put that one.
It could have been like I'm not even. There's no justification, but it could have been just like
Sorry.
mention in passing or whatever. We didn't need. It doesn't need to be like detailed on page of of what happened or what that character did. It's like I feel like that's common sense. I don't know where the editor's head was at, but again, the editors could have like told them like, "Hey, remove this." And if this author is an indie author, could have been like, "No, I'm still keeping it," because authors can still do whatever the fuck they want, especially like
Right.
with indie authors, like they don't have to follow what an editor said because it's still your book. The editor could have said like, hey, remove this and stuff, but my my thing is like, were there even arc readers? Because I would have think
I don't
that
know.
arc readers would have said something.
That's just wild behavior.
Right, like I would have think that arc readers would have said something.
Yeah. Even make the recommendation like, hey, I know you like to write this kind of stuff because maybe it's healing for you, but it's probably going to trigger a lot of people. If you're not going to put all the triggers, then change the genre.
But who's healing people? Who's healing? Like that
Listen,
specific portion, who is it healing? I feel like some people would write like shock factor, which is I've I've read one that was like
hmm,
I'm pretty sure this
hmm.
author just did it like for shock factor. Is it necessary? No. And I would still not call that a fucking romance because there's no fucking way that them two ended up together in love because there's no like no because the other dark romances that I like dark like perfect example Royal and Harper, The Sinner by Chantel. There's still a story, there's still a relationship like happening. That one, the other one that I should have fucking DNF.
Yeah.
N- no, no.
Yeah. I haven't DNF'd a book this fast in my whole life. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't even get, I started to see trends and I'm like, nah, let me go to Goodreads. And I
Yeah.
was like, jaw floor. I'm like, no,
You're
no,
like,
I'm
I'm
tapping
out.
the fuck out. Not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, there
So
are
this is
some
the
things.
lesson.
Well, like I said, it's like lesson for me is like quit trying on new authors.
Yeah. I'll always try new authors. Lesson for me is read Goodreads first.
Or yeah, and I usually do that. It's like if I see a snippet on TikTok and it's like keep coming back. It's like okay, let's go to Goodreads
Yeah, yeah.
because I've done it before. Where it's like, oh, it's a mafia romance, and I was like, we all know I love mafia romances. And then I
Right.
start reading it, it's like, why is this on third person? Like, why did nobody say that it was third person?
Oh.
I cannot like.
Oh.
So then
I'm with you.
and then I started reading Goodreads, and I was like, oh, I should have read Goodreads. So now, if
I
it's
know.
like a new author and it's like in a genre that I really love, like mafia romance, then I would read at least like the non-spoiler stuff at least. Um, and then I'll be like, okay, I can do that. before I'm out. Like there's two authors that are sort of popular, and one of them writes in third person, and then the other, I was just like, the fuck am I reading? But like everybody's like raving and all this. I was like, oh, you should have just pushed through. Like, yeah.
No.
And then there's
Well, this
one that
is.
I read before,
Hmm.
probably like 4 books, or no, maybe 2, 3 books in. And then I found out they plagiarized from one of my favorite authors, and I'm just like, I'm
Oh.
out. And they had like 10 books, and they're more popular than my favorite author, and I was like, oh, that gripes me. And then I keep
Yeah.
seeing them pop up on my FYP, and I'm just like, and I know a lot of these people don't know that that's how they became popular is off of somebody's work. I was just like, I'm gonna block you. Sorry, I'm not gonna educate you and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
yeah,
think going forward, this is what we should do. We end the episode when we're doing book reviews with hot topics. Just quick,
hot topic.
5, 10 minute hot topic. We get to bitch and moan, complain, give our thoughts, and then
Right?
feel free to let us know your thoughts. So,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
we still had
that
like
brings,
a good amount an episode, so it's not bad.
yeah.
I
So
was
that brings
nervous
us to
about it.
the end. Well, we did it. We got there. It
Yeah.
brings us to the end. Thank you all for listening to this clusterfuck shit show.
Oh,
um,
every time we do a book review, it's like a fucking cluster.
I
It's like
know.
it, we're like two different hosts. Like the more organized one when we have a guest, and then we go to a buddy read. It's like woo, like roller
Yeah, because we're all over the place. We have too many feelings or not enough. So, but anyway, follow us on our socials. Subscribe to our podcast. If you have any topics or books or authors you'd like to see, shoot us a DM on our Instagram at Unfiltered Romance Nights. Well, that's all. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.